My boyfriend wanted an open relationship until I did too.
Open for me, but not for thee.
I come from a small town where everyone knows each other. I was raised in a very strict Catholic household and had a pretty sheltered life growing up. No dating, no parties, none of that stuff. So when I moved to the city for college, it was a whole new world. I had total freedom.
Okay, Aladdin.
Right? By the way, this comes from users deleted. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Riley.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, that's when I met my boyfriend. He's a little older and honestly the most amazing person I had ever met. He taught me so much about life and love and made everything feel exciting. I was completely over the moon when we became a couple. We've been together for 3.5 years now. I had so many firsts with him. Naturally, I assumed we would get married. He was my one and only. Then about 8 months ago, he sat me down and he told me he felt like our relationship was losing its spark. I was shocked because I thought we were doing really good. For a second, I thought he was about to break up with me, but instead, he said we should open up the relationship and explore polyamory. He said it's more normal now and that it could actually help bring us closer. I was hurt. Like, really hurt. I couldn't believe he'd even ask me that. But I loved him too much. He's my first love. I didn't want to lose him, so I said yes. He made some rules, like no bringing other people into our beds. We live separately anyway. And to keep things away from places we'd usually go. But honestly, I didn't care about the rules. I couldn't even imagine being with someone else. I only wanted him. But that first month, things didn't get better. I saw him less and less. He was always busy. I checked his social media and saw he started hanging out with some girl. She posted him all the time. I was burning with jealousy, but I didn't say anything. When I did see him, he was sweet like always. But it started to feel like he was just trying to make up for not being around. I felt like I was the one doing all the work. Planning stuff, texting first, chasing after him, holding on so tight while he felt far away. Then a few months ago, we were supposed to see a movie together, but he bailed on me last minute. I went anyway. While I was there, I ran into one of my friends and she was with her older brother. We ended up watching the film together. Afterward, we grabbed some drinks and I started noticing how attractive and funny he was. I caught him looking at me a certain way too, like maybe he felt something. I didn't pursue anything though. This was all so new to me. Liking someone else? That felt so weird. He eventually found me on Instagram and we started talking. I told him about the open relationship and he was super chill about it.
Of course.
Yeah, babe, I hear you. I'm like totally cool with that. Yeah.
Super chill. Because he wants a Netflix and chill.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you got a boyfriend, but you can still hang out with me?
Super chill, babe.
He said he was happy to spend time with me without worrying about cheating. We started hanging out more, and honestly, I didn't feel so alone anymore. I didn't feel like I had to beg someone for love. Even the little time I spent with my boyfriend started to feel enough because my heart didn't feel so empty anymore. One day, after we'd become close friends, he just kissed me on the lips. And it hit me. I had feelings for him. Spicy related ones.
Uh-oh, he kissed your lips.
We ended up hooking up not long after. Nice. And it was amazing. I felt wanted. I felt wanted and cherished. And he was so gentle and so generous.
Generous with his delivery.
I couldn't get enough of him. It felt like he balanced me out in a way I didn't know I needed. I finally understood what being poly could really mean. Loving more than one person in a way that felt real and full. We even joined the gym together and started working out. He's a busy guy, but always made time for me. Always invited me into his world and his hobbies. I felt special and giddy.
Okay, so just I feel like what you're really experiencing is having a good boyfriend versus a bad one. My mic is naked.
It's naked.
Nobody look at it.
Yeah, I think this is just what, actual love is supposed to be.
You said this was like your first boyfriend.
The other one was her first.
Yeah, so it's like you're just discovering like, oh, this is what a
This is what a
Like, this is
relationship
what a thoughtful
You went through
partner. This is what a
heartbreak.
good partner
yeah,
feels like.
exactly.
Then this week, my boyfriend comes to me and says, I think we should close the relationship and focus on each other. I was confused. I asked him why. Things are going really good for us. He said, it's time to think about the future and building something serious.
Bro, this guy is so full of it.
We're thinking about it now?
This is when you just leave this guy and you start dating the other guy that you like.
The one that makes you giddy.
Yeah, because this guy's...
Got the Gwitty.
That was what he should have said at the beginning. He said, hey, I feel like our relationship is losing its,
Pizzazz.
magic, its pizzazz. And then it's like, let's focus on us and like really try to,
Right.
bring back quality time to our relationship.
It just feels like he had a girl in mind that he was like, I'm going to go off with this girl for a little bit. Oh, I'm kind of bored of this girl and you kind of like seem like you're trying to maybe get interested in someone else. So I think we should close this off because
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable anymore.
100%. I bet he got rejected.
Then he brought up religion. You're Catholic. You should understand. If you want this to last, it has to just be the two of us. When I hesitated, he started guilt tripping me like I was doing something wrong. Like I wasn't thinking about us. I love him. I really do. But now I feel confused. I feel upset. I didn't ask for any of this. He opened the door and I just followed because I loved him. And now that I found a little peace, a little joy, he wants to shut it all down. It feels unfair and I don't know what to do. I'm here for advice and support. I feel so depressed about this issue. And we have some comments. As a poly person, what he did and is doing isn't poly. It's cheating with extra steps. Poly has to be worked on and agreed upon by all parties. You go in together, you go out together. You can't just drag your partner along and then unilaterally decide to close. If he lost the spark after only 3.5 years and you're 21, he is not in it for the long haul. He does not respect you. And this is OP's moment of clarity. Main reason I stayed monogamous was because of my faith and my love for him. He knows it and probably banked on that. I have the clarity I needed after posting here. I'm ending it.
All right.
Nice.
Post clarity.
And we have an update. I spoke to my boyfriend and told him I don't want to close the open relationship. I've grown to really enjoy dating the other guy, and it's not something I agreed to just experiment. I told him it should be a joint decision. You can't just open and close a relationship as you please, especially when someone else's feelings are involved. I also told him I was incredibly disappointed that he brought up my faith, knowing how much trauma and guilt I've carried from my religious upbringing. It felt manipulative and unfair. He didn't respond to my comments about religion, but instead said, if you want a future with me, this needs to end or we're done. I told him, then it's done.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
Exactly what I said. They offer you the door, and then you just go, okay.
They're like, she won't walk out. And then you
They call
walk
your
out and they
bluff.
go, that's not allowed. Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You weren't supposed to be with anyone else.
She wouldn't let me make a pickle pie. So I said, we're done.
Peter
I don't-
Pickle's mad.
I promise from now on, I'm not going to say pickle pie ever again.
Thank
All right,
you.
go.
He got heated and said I was throwing away nearly 4 years for a guy I've only been seeing for a few months and tried to make me feel guilty. But I reminded him that he was the one who lost the spark, who wanted to sleep with other women, and who opened the relationship in the first place, not me. I just agreed because I loved him and hoped he would realize I'm the only one for him. I didn't ask for this. After some time, he calmed down. We had a long emotional conversation. He cried. He apologized. He told me he should have ended things instead of trying to fix our relationship with polyamory. He admitted he still loves me and that seeing me happy with someone else made him jealous, even though he knew he had no right to be. He said he probably deserves the pain and he respects my decision to end it. We hugged and agreed that even though our relationship is over, the first 2 years were beautiful. We've been together 3.5.
Be still my heart. I'm sorry you're who is this guy? This was your first. It makes sense this was your first because you just don't know.
Yeah.
You know, you're like 21. You just don't know that this guy
Yeah.
is kind of garbage.
You don't understand what prospects are out there.
I can't imagine saying that to a partner.
They mutually agreed that one. We hugged and agreed.
All right. This should have ended a year and a half ago.
We'll always have a place in each other's hearts, even though the relationship has run its course. Later, I met up with the other guy I've been seeing. I told him everything. I ended things with my boyfriend because I didn't want to let him go. I told him I'm not rushing into anything, that I don't expect him to give me all of his time or energy right away, but I'd love to date and see where things go. That's when he opened up and told me that watching me stay with my boyfriend while we were seeing each other was hard. He said it hurt him, but he kept quiet because he liked me so much and knew what he was getting into. He never intended to be in a polyamorous relationship, but only agreed to it because he really wanted to be with me and didn't want to lose the chance. He secretly hoped we'd break up because, in his words, you deserve someone who wants you completely. And by the way, from now on, and always, you can go listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. A little bit more.
Well, I'm glad that
Andrew
you
said
found this guy
yes.
who actually will treat you right and cares about you.
Yay, takes you to the
Thank
gym.
God.
Yeah.
They have a gym membership together.
Yeah.
They go to the gym together.
Let's go
He's
to
a busy
the
guy,
gym.
but he still thinks of her and hangs out with her in his free time.
Yeah.
You know, he's
Dang.
a busy guy.
He said he likes me a lot, sees a future with me, and wants to just date each other for now. We're not rushing into exclusivity, but we've both agreed not to see other people and see how this naturally unfolds. We already know we like each other and don't want to see anyone else. At the same time, I don't want to jump into an exclusive relationship. I just want to take my time since I left my first long-term relationship. I hope that makes sense. So even though I'm mourning the loss of my first relationship that meant the world to me for a long time, I feel hopeful. I feel like I'm stepping into something new, something healthy, something that only involves just two people, LOL. And that's the end of that story.
My ex betrayed me with my best friend, so I cut them off for good.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Betrayal. I, 18 female, and my ex, 18 female, dated for almost 2 years back in high school. She was a lot of my firsts, as I'm bi and had only had one unofficial girlfriend before her, and she was a lover of women who had a couple girlfriends before me. I'll call my ex Jana, my best friend Harper, 19 female, and my other mentioned friend as Mia. By the way, this comes from user Shoddy Dentist 2841. We got a real Crentist on our hands. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
I'm Keon. What's up, lol kids?
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So if you would do something different, let us know in the comments and be nice and cute and stuff. And OP says, Gianna and I were friends, but I was in the closet and had turned her down when she asked me out in freshman year. So we drifted until she began dating one of my oldest friends, Mia. Gianna and I rekindled our friendship, but obviously didn't go further than that. Loyalty to my friend was the priority. At some point, the two of them broke up, leading to Gianna and I becoming closer than usual. Mia had moved on to a different relationship already, and she and I spoke clearly about my own blossoming relationship with Gianna, in which Mia told me she didn't mind us dating, and that she was even rooting for me. No drama there, just clear communication. For context, Harper was my first lady crush, and we had been unofficially on and off throughout middle school. The summer just before high school, both of us were getting into trouble with our families, finding out about our spicy proclivities, so we both went right back into the closet. I actually regressed so far back that I genuinely thought I was straight for my first year of high school, despite my very obvious previous feelings for Harper. When I finally left the closet again during the pandemic, Gianna and I became friends again, and Harper and I were best friends. Harper had different after-school activities than I did, so we got used to not seeing each other much, especially during online school, but I consistently sent her texts to tell her about my day and to ask about hers. I never minded being the first one to reach out because she was always kind of without an online presence, but I loved our conversations. I even told her about my feelings for Gianna. She supported me during that period and teased me when Gianna and I did start dating. She's like, "Ooh, you got a girlfriend that you like, a little liker of girl." Ooh, Gianna, more like you wanna kiss her. Ooh. It was a nice balance, or so I thought. That's right. Here comes the betrayal. I'd had a nice amount of good friends from middle school going into high school, but we weren't the kind of friends that went out to the mall or to eat. We were fine with that. But the more I spent time going out with Gianna and her friends, the more I enjoyed actually being out of the house. I had a really tough upbringing, so it took me all these years to break away from a lot of my old social norms. Gianna knew about most of my childhood traumas, and though she couldn't do much to help, she was supportive. I admit wholeheartedly that my problems at home affected too much of our relationship. Back then, my parents were not supportive of my attraction to Gianna, so when they found out about Gianna, they forced me to break up with her. I told her exactly what happened, so she understood, but we were both heartbroken. I stayed home crying before finding out she had gone to a football game with her friends, laughing and buying drinks. I only found out because my parents spotted her there when picking up my brother. I was torn apart because I was convinced she was as hurt as I was, but it didn't matter enough for her to not go out and have fun anyway. I know this is probably going to be worse, but that isn't really a bad thing. People cope with breakups in different ways. You don't have to, just be sad at home.
Right. Some people cope by going out.
Yeah. You should never cope by hooking up with your ex's best friend.
No, that's probably one of the worst ones to do.
That's evil. OP continues, but we got back together anyway. Okay.
Okay.
Congrats.
Good job.
For now.
I guess.
Secretly at first, and despite my sadness about her not caring like I did. It was a long time before my parents tolerated our relationship. We dated for a while, but we proceeded to have other breakups due to our vast differences in opinion and our refusal to just move on. I grew codependent, which was my own fault because I had always known she wasn't the kind of girl to get attached. I should have known better, but I was too invested and in love to call it quits. It didn't matter what she caused me to feel because I was also convinced all our problems were my fault. I was the emotional one, hurt by all the time she'd tell her friends about my problems at home. Hurt by her refusing to say I love you first. Hurt by her never complimenting me anymore like she did in the first months of dating. Hurt by her treating me as an afterthought. Then, halfway through junior year, I was hurt by her getting closer and closer to my best friend, Harper. Harper and I have been very close for all these years, but Harper and Gianna had more in common. It got to a point where Gianna began joining all of Harper's extracurriculars and bringing up Harper in all of our conversations. They even skipped school together with two other friends and left me behind, despite me advising them not to skip. Gianna and I fought often, almost always about how close she was to Harper, and I never blamed Harper for any of it because it was Gianna who was my girlfriend. We even went to Six Flags with one of our school clubs. I regretted the entire trip because I had to stand in line beside Harper and Gianna while they play fought. Gianna was all over her with her arms around her shoulders and laughing. I also ended up having a panic attack after one of the rides, and at least Harper was there for me, offering to help me find coffee. Dad,
Why?
no,
Whoa, yeah. You're like, you know what I really need to make my
heart go
pump
quicker.
more.
Yeah, that's the most teenager thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, I had a panic attack. I need
You want some
espresso.
coffee? You want a straight espresso right now?
Yeah, I'm glad we all froze at the same moment. Like, no.
Wait.
Harper was generally just beside me while Gianna had to leave because of her club duties. No matter how often Gianna and I fought about Harper, I never told Harper about it. I didn't want Harper to feel like she was at fault when she simply had no idea. But I was struggling. I don't know why I kept dating Gianna, except that I was too dependent on her. Gianna straight up asked me if she could buy Harper a rose during one of Harper's musical performances. At least it was for that specific occasion, but the fact that she asked when she never put that effort in for me upset me a lot. I feel like her even asking just means she knows that it's bad.
Yeah.
She's like, I need the permission.
This is such a little middle school starting high school relationship. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. During our arguments, Gianna would tell me she'd pick Harper over me if I ever put an ultimatum up. So for some stupid reason, I took that as a sign that I was in the wrong. Finally, Gianna and I broke up on New Year's 2022. OP, at least you had this terrible, toxic relationship early in your life so that now you know all the signs, you know? Gianna broke up with me over text, and I had to call her to actually talk about it. More like cry about it to each other. It was over, and back then I thought the world would end because I had imagined living my whole life with her. Thankfully, I'm a teenager, and my world did not end.
I don't know.
Aw,
Yeah.
Sounds
you're
like it did.
self-aware, though.
Yeah.
Sounds like when you're a teenager, that is your world, and it seems like it's ending. But good for you, Opie, I guess.
Yeah, you did it. I finally told Harper the truth. I explained every single thing, including the fact that Gianna had been gradually falling in love with her all this time, and that I never blamed Harper, but that I thought she deserved to know. Harper told me she'd remain neutral with Gianna. That should have been the first red flag, but I was blind. Like an idiot, I got close to Harper all over again, even realizing I was starting to feel something for her again. But I chose to prioritize my friendship with her because I hated how distant we got because of Gianna. Oh, that's right. I forgot. OP's first lady crush was Harper. Harper
Right.
was the one that she realized, I got feelings for this lady.
There's way too many strings
Who's that
attached here.
lady?
This is one
Yeah,
of those
we need to move on and find
this
someone
is one of those
completely unrelated.
whatchamacallit, investigation boards.
Yeah.
This is what it feels like, and there's too
It's-
many strings
yeah.
across
There's-
and attached, and it is not looking good. It's like Charlie
many
Day.
red
It's I'm figuring it out.
There is no Pepe Sylvia.
Yeah.
Charlie, all of these people exist, and all they're talking about is where is their mail. Senior year was halfway done, and I surprisingly got over Gianna within a month and began to rediscover my independence. I had a couple close, amazing friends, excluding Harper, because she chose to stay friends with Gianna and left me behind. I was directing in my theater club with my actual friends. I got accepted into an amazing college, got to be roommates with my current best friend, and I'm finally happy. I even have a new balance with my home life, reconnecting with my closest cousins and gradually finding inner peace. I also matured from my past mistakes, and I feel good about myself. From the beginning of the summer to now, I actually began writing my first full-length book.
Whoa.
The genre is in detective fiction. Okay, Batman. But the story was my way of coping with the loss of a friend and what it means to garner independence after a betrayal. For obvious reasons, the book has greater weight and consequences than a silly high school drama, but it sure as heck helps me cope. It's gratifying to look at my drafts and see how much came out of my previously unresolved pain because I'm in a much brighter place now. And by the way, you can always go to a place with full episodes with stories like this, and it's your favorite podcast platform. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to the whole kit and the caboodle.
I can go to any of them. And just
Wherever
find
you listen.
episodes?
We have a little bit more story left. I think, yeah, good on you. Teenager, moving on up. Life is great. I was sad about losing my supposed best friend, but over the summer I found out from one of my actual friends that Harper and Gianna did indeed start dating. I felt betrayed all over again, but I also always saw it coming. It didn't matter how much the two of them gaslit me into believing they were just friends, but at the very least, I'm happy knowing they deserve each other. At least this way, if they keep dating, no other girl will have to deal with the consequences of dating them. Good riddance. Yay! We did it!
Woo,
That's
we did
that's
it.
right where we wanna
did
be.
it. We did it.
Hey.
Yeah.
We got there. We got there. I'm happy for you, OP. That's the end of that story.
My glow up made my wife insecure. Now she's scared I'll leave her.
Uh-oh, the glow up, below up.
I, 36 male, have been happily married to my wife, 34 female, for about 15 years. We met playing Halo 3, and I moved across the country for her when I was 21 and she was 19. We aren't officially married since neither of us is religious, and we've never felt the need for the ceremony. By the way, this is from Vertex Reaper, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. One of the best things about our relationship is that we haven't gotten into a fight one time since we got together. Not one. I'm so grateful to have her in my life. 4 years ago, I had a dad bod, and my wife had gotten a bit thick due to the vid. At the end of 2021, I got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Honestly, I didn't know much about the disease other than you're not supposed to eat sugar and go easy on the carbs. When I learned all the terrible things that can happen because of this condition, I freaked out. Losing your limbs, going blind, losing your hearing. It's all so crazy to think about. So I took it seriously and started improving my diet. My A1C got so much better and my glucose levels averaged around 120. I lost about 40 pounds over 2 years with proper diet, balancing out around 200. To be clear, I'm not a tall guy. I'm about 5'6", so 200 is still thick at my height. Fortunately, my wife is 5 foot, so I'm tall to her, which we both enjoy. I wanted to lose more weight, so I started going to the gym. I saw immediate results. Since I was already practically keto out of necessity, my high-protein, low-carb diet was a perfect match. Over the first year, I lost another 40 pounds, staying around 160. I was losing fat and building muscle at the same time. Now I'm lean, have muscle tone, and instead of avoiding tight shirts, I wear them intentionally. Also, let me tell you, my love life improved. Not to give away details, but I last longer. We can do things we couldn't do before. And my wife initiates things more often too. My sugar hasn't been over 120 this whole year. And my A1C is exactly where it should be. I'm living a healthy life and enjoying being in my relationship more than ever. So let's get to the issue. About 6 months ago, I got offered to move from my company to another company. To be clear, I did not apply for this job. They reached out to me on LinkedIn and things changed drastically. First, I was no longer working the late shift. Second, my salary increased nearly triple what it was. And lastly, I got a huge signing bonus that would change my life. When I was young, I never got braces. My teeth have always been crooked. This money meant I could have my smile repaired overnight with a full set of veneers. I don't know why that. I was expecting you to be like, with braces. Or like, with Invisalign.
Nah, give me the porcelain teeth.
Instead, he's like, nah, get rid of them. Give me new ones.
Grind them down and give me the fake ones.
That's crazy.
It's good. Yeah, good veneers are good, but bad
veneers.
But bad veneers are the worst.
Bad.
Horse teeth.
Scary.
Scary, like demon
Chip
teeth.
Skylark
Did you
over
have
there.
braces?
I had braces, yeah.
Do you have braces?
Yeah, you know I did. You want to know who didn't?
Yeah, and I can tell.
Why?
I think he's got really nice teeth.
Because he's so confident.
Now, before everyone jumps on me for destroying my teeth, I also have never had the greatest oral hygiene. I've had cavity after cavity filled, a few teeth pulled, a bridge put in, and some chips from an accident when I was a kid repaired a few times.
Wow.
This felt like a chance to fix everything at once. I talked to my wife about the bonus, and she was supportive. I first asked if there was anything we could use this for elsewhere. She told me that with my new salary, anything she wanted could wait. My wife knew how self-conscious I was about my smile, and she was excited to let me get a brand new smile. So I did. Being a guy, I guess I didn't notice this all that much, but apparently women started giving me more and more compliments. He's like, I didn't notice all the compliments rolling in because I'm a guy, but
Yeah.
my wife sure did.
My wife certainly did. You know what I'm saying?
Mostly around my style, as I tend to dress more professionally these days for my new role. Of course, being thick, I didn't think they were flirting, just being nice. My wife, on the other hand, saw it very differently. When we would go out, waitresses were starting to chat with me more. Some girls apparently were giving me bedroom eyes. I hate that phrase. And again, my dumb self didn't notice that. I'm already with my soulmate. Why would I care what other girls say to me or how they look at me? Everything I want is waiting for me when I get home from work.
Aww, you're so cute.
The person I want to spend my time with is already there. I don't want anyone else. I've been in love for 15 years. Now the trouble, we went to Target so I could pick up my diabetes medication and so she could grab Starbucks. After I got my medicine, I walked over to where the keto and sugar-free snacks are in the health aisle. You know, the name brand specific peanut butter cups, the specific chips. A woman who was definitely younger than me walked up and asked if the chocolate-covered peanuts I picked up were any good. I started sharing my knowledge on these items. We made a few jokes about the taste of some of the stuff, laughed a little, and just had a fun conversation. Then I excused myself and told her I had to go find my better half. That was the first time I noticed. She seemed disappointed that I was taken, but didn't say it out loud. It turns out my wife was hiding on the other side of the aisle the whole time.
Whoa.
I found her immediately, was happy to see her, gave her a little kiss, took her hand, and we went to check out. Later that night, my wife seemed unusually quiet. I figured maybe she was starting her period.
I mean, hey. Hey.
He didn't say that rudely. He knows his wife.
Yeah,
He's like, yeah,
he's
she
not
always
he's
gets
not
it
like,
fine.
oh, these women and their freaking ovaries. He's just like, maybe she was feeling a little extra sensitive.
My wife then told me she was going to go back to bed and lay down a bit. Something fell off, and after 10 minutes, I walked back to see if she was okay. I found her bawling into a pillow.
Hello.
No, put it on you. Show your
It's
your
you know what? I
face.
can't even make fun of you. My girl says it like that too.
The cool kids say it that way.
Pillow. And I was like,
Where is she
what?
from Is she from LA?
Yeah.
Immediately, I moved over to her side and started rubbing her back. Of course, I asked her what was wrong, and she got herself together enough to look up at me with tear-filled eyes, and with the quietest, meekest voice I'd ever heard, she said, "Please don't leave me."
Aww.
And then you pull the Master Chief quote
No.
and say, "You know me when I make a promise," and she says, "You keep it." And that's that's
Cortana.
actually really cheesy if you did that.
She's your Cortana.
That was cheesy, and I didn't know it.
Crazy, right?
I was floored. My heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out what was going on. What did I do to make her think that? I don't stay out late. She knows where I am 100% of the time. And we willingly hand each other our phones when the other is missing theirs. To say I was caught off guard was an understatement. This is when she filled me in on the fact that women in general have been more and more interested in me lately, and that she's seen how some of them look at me like I'm a slab of meat. My mind was blown. I didn't push back, but I asked what she meant. Little by little, she started to get herself together and explained all the attention I've been getting. The looks, the chats, the attention, the approaches. And tonight, when that busty blonde Barbie was chatting me up, she realized that if I wanted to upgrade, I really could. Upgrade to what? How do you go up from soulmate?
Aww.
I immediately told her that I never had any intent of leaving her, or that I wanted to. And if I was flirting, I didn't mean to. She reassured me that I wasn't flirting, bless her heart. My wife explained that she was listening to her husband share his life experience and his passions, not a cheating knucklehead trying to get some. We both kind of laughed. We talked for about an hour after that. Eventually, we cuddled, watched a movie, and fell asleep in each other's arms. The last few days have been good, like really good. But is there anything I can do to make sure the love of my life never feels like I'm going to leave her? I can't stress enough that this woman enhances me. She emboldens my passions. She gives me all that I need and want. I tell her I love her every morning. I call her beautiful as a greeting, physical touch, kisses, hugs. I'm not distant. I'm active and I want to be with her till I'm old and gray, and burying her so that she doesn't have to endure the pain of losing me. Any advice is welcome, and we have an update. Oh, wow. See, personally, I feel like this is something that's just like potentially an adjustment time, and if he keeps being so reassuring and so nice and maybe just doing like even a little bit extra of it for a little bit, like eventually she'll settle into being like, this is how it is, like he obviously still loves me kind of thing. Like there's no reason that she should think that. She's just getting a little bit like, oh my god, this is something so new that I haven't dealt with and it worries me.
Yeah, and I think you can just like, show her kind of what you wrote in this post even, or like show her
Carly needs a what?
Just write her a little special something. Write her a little cute thing and just keep showing up the same way you're showing up,
So I've been thinking about this situation, and I appreciate everyone's perspective. My wife got home about 15 minutes ago, and I showed her what I'd written, like some people suggested. They were right. She really appreciated it. As to getting married, she still thinks it's a goofy tradition made up by religious people, and currently just a good way for people to waste a pile of cash. Also, like, you could just give her a ring and just be like, we don't actually have to get like officially married, but like I consider us married now.
Yes,
Or just
you are
like,
my
do
wife.
like a legit thing. Have a couple friends, some witnesses.
I think it would still cost a little bit of money.
I might be
She
wifed
sounds to
out
be really
nicely.
against it. So like she doesn't need it, but if she wants that like slight further promise or something, they can pretend to do it.
You know what you can do is cover your hand in super glue and then touch her with it, and you go, I'm never leaving.
And we'll never leave you, because there's always full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, your favorite podcast app. Search up OK Storytime. We We got a little bit left. However, someone pointed out all the legal benefits to being married, and I honestly can't disagree with that. So we're getting married!
Yeah!
Okay. But she firmly said, no dresses, no DJ, no food, no archway. Just a few family members for a witness and whoever needs to officiate. I couldn't help but laugh, but I guess we're going on a honeymoon in September around her birthday. She wanted me to pass her thanks along to those who offered their support and advice. And that is the end of that story.